based on in essays, usually they give you the statement. It is not something that they will give you the character or a topic and then what you need to just write simply on that. It is something that they will give you the statement, and then based on that statement they will ask you the question, and you need to answer that question in your essay writing. So based on the question asked, we have bifurcated essays in 5 types. The first is agree disagreement essay. In that type of essay, they ask you after the statement that to what extent do you agree or disagree, or do you agree or disagree. So that's what they ask. They are looking for your stand based on the statement given. Then second type is problem solution essay. In that statement, they will give you a statement, and then you need to discuss about the problems of that statement and related solutions of that statement. Then third type is discussion essay. In that case, you need to discuss. They will give you 2 views in the statement, and then you need to discuss that both views in your essay writing. Next type is advantages, disadvantages essay. In that case, they will give you a statement, and then on that topic, you need to discuss about the advantages or disadvantages of that statement or of that topic. And then last essay is question-based essay. Another word you can say is thematic essay. In thematic essay, you need to write directly to the answers, the directly questions. In that thematic essay, they will give you the questions, roughly 2 to 3 questions they will give you directly, and then you need to answer those all 3 questions in your essay. So these are the basically main types of the essay. Now today, we are going to take a sample essay based on the education. The major problem students are facing in writing of essay is lexical resource. What is lexical resource? Lexical resource is nothing but a word bank. So how many words related to that topic is called lexical resource. So over there, examiner test takers are looking for the lexical resources, because the overall marking for writing is first is task achievement, then second is coherence and cohesion, third is lexical resource, and the fourth marking for the writing is grammatical range and accuracy. So lexical resource plays a 25% role in your overall marking in your writing. And so it is very important to have a lexical resources in your writing of the particular topic. All right. So now today we'll take a lexical resources based on the education. Okay. Now the basic vocabulary we need to do is when the topic is given on the based of the education, then of course we need to write that particular word on and often in our writing. That is education. So rather than repeating that same word in your essay, better to use different vocabulary synonyms of that education, which are you can write as a teaching, schooling, or a coaching, training. So these are related words, similar words. I'm not saying these all are synonyms of education, but these are simply similar words to the education. So that's what you can write. That's what you can write and use in your essay writing. All right. Next is tutoring. So these are the studying. These are the words you can use as a education. All right. The second is teacher. It's very most common word that you may need to write in your essay writing. Rather than teacher, gradually you can use a different type of synonyms of teacher, which are assistant, then coach, then educator, lecturer, professor, trainer, tutor. Uh, these words you can replace instead of teachers. Depending upon what you are writing, it is not exactly the same meaning of a teacher, but it's a similar one. Yes, you can write mentor as well. Trainer, mentor, assistant, coach, educator, lecturer, professor, right? So these are the words you can use. Then next is student. Most common problem majority of students faces over here in IELTS, that rather than students, which words you can replace to have a word bank. You can write pupil, learner, novice, trainee, mentee, studier as well. And then institutes. So there are different types of institutes starting from the preschool, then primary school, then secondary school. So depending upon the level of the education, you can write you can use this kind of institutes and level of the studies. Then college, then higher education, then post graduation. So these are the vocabulary, basic vocabulary. You can say that what you can reuse is you need to write these basic words on and often in your writing. So rather than writing same words throughout in your essay, it's better to use different type of synonyms or similar words in your writing. All right. Now let's have a look on the another vocabulary and languages. That one you can say as literacy rate. The meaning for the literacy rate is the percentage of the people in a country or a region or an area who can read and write. So is it basic concept of education is something that someone who can able to read and write in that language they are learned. So those comes as a literacy percentage. Then comprehensive education, a well-rounded, broad education that covers a variety of subjects. That is called comprehensive education. And another word you can use, collocative words you can use is comprehensive courses. There are lot many comprehensive courses nowadays very popular as learners, right? Then scholarship, we all know it very clearly. Then project work, a planned work that is designed to find information about a particular thing, right? So these are all academic words you can use in your essay where it is quite fit in your writing. Then intensive courses. See, comprehensive courses and intensive courses are quite different. Intensive courses is a course that runs for a short duration of the time. Sometimes the student make mistake with the comprehensive courses and intensive courses. So be clear with the difference of both. Then hypothesis. It is very nice word to use as a lexical resource. It is called an idea or explanation of something that is based on a few known facts. All right. Then thesis, a piece of writing that involves an original idea. So basic of that subject is called a thesis. Then dissertation, a long piece of writing on a particular subject. So it is detailed explanation of that particular subject is called dissertation. Online course, you all know as of now there are types of the courses. So one method of teaching is online. Then another method is distance learning. Then vocational courses, who runs on a particular topic, that is called vocational courses. Then non-vocational courses, a course that is not related to any particular job. So those are non-vocational courses. Basically, these are the types of the courses depending upon what type of statement is given to you as a topic statement in your essay. On that base, you can use such kind of words. So it is not necessary that you can able to write any kind of words I am giving you right now. See, ultimately word bank is very huge ocean. So I can provide you as much words as possible, but somehow you need to understand those words very clearly, that how and where you can use those words. Then integrated courses. See, you can see that integrated courses means a combined course, right? Then academic ability. Academic ability is a collocative words that means your ability to study, that how much you can able to grasp and how clearly you are able to study. So that is something, ability to study. Then public education, public awareness, education to society. So where you need to provide education, that is something related to public education. Then academic inflation, this is again a good, very nice collocative word. Academic inflation is something growth in literacy rate. What does that mean? That nowadays you can see that ratio of literacy is getting too high nowadays, right? It was earlier that Kerala comes at the first level, and then when you go to the Bihar or Rajasthan or some places, then academic ratio, literacy ratio is very low. But now there is academic inflation, that overall rate is getting too high because of academic inflation, right? Then higher education, you all know. Literate, we all know that literate person, you can say that educated person who can learn, read and write. Literacy race, this is again very nice word to use. Literacy race is something what we say that rat race, right? हम लोग बोलते हैं कि भी एक बच्चा एक्स कोर्स में पढ़ाई कर रहा है, एंड देन उसको फॉलो करने के लिए सभी लोग उसी कोर्स में लग जाते हैं. सो दैट इज समथिंग लिटरेसी रेस. when you don't know what to do and you are blindly following whatever the person is doing nearby, and that is called literacy race. So this is again very nice collocation to use in your writing of essay when education comes as a topic. Now let's have a look with the some another more lexical resources and collocations. You can see over here very clearly that these are collocation words. Now let me tell you that collocation words are very good to use, but we need to understand it very clearly with the language. Over here, I have given you collocation words, that few words are good to use as a formal language in your writing, but few words are falling as a semi-formal language that you should not use in your essay writing, because you know very clearly that in last session I told you that in our essay we are using throughout formal language. So professional words, unique words, that's what we need to use in our writing. That normal routine words we are not using in our essay writing, right? Let's have a look with the lab work. Is something you are you are doing experiments in the laboratories. Then dissection, cutting up animals or some scientific research when you are doing, that is called dissection. Then scheduled lessons, algebra, to give out or assign homework, right? So to give out is collocation, which you should not use in your writing. And so another word for the good give out is assign homework. So you can see over here that this collocation word is can be used as your speaking part. And in writing, rather than to give out, you should use assign homework. Same is with to do. To do you should use in your speaking part, but for writing you need to replace that to do with complete homework. All right. Then next is to complete high school. That's okay. Then to do, to participate or to take part in school activities, extracurricular activities. That's what you can say, right? How important those extracurricular activities. There are a number of extracurricular activities you can take as an example in your writing if it is required, right? The one extracurricular activities, it's sports. Other than sports, you can say that music, then creative writing, then you can use that what we can say, that extracurricular activities, craft, drawing, reading, so scientific experiments, projects, makerspace. So these are the extracurricular activities you can include when it is required to give as an example. All right. Then next topic is tracing is equal to copying, outlining. Then tone deaf is without an ear, unable to appreciate. That is something the meaning of tone deaf. That person who don't appreciate. At that time, we can use this collocation as a tone deaf. All right, clear? So these are the basic collocation I have used over here. Then let's have a look with a few more verbs and nouns. You can see over here that to graduate from a university, that means ultimately you have completed your degree course, right? So rather than you can just complete a degree course, it's better word to use is a graduate from a university. Then to enroll on a degree course. To major in physics. See, you can see over here, I am not saying that these words are, I'm not saying that these words are, I mean, yes, just wait for a while. I'll show you. Yes, give me a moment. Yes, see over here in What I mean to say that these words I have taken over here, these verbs and nouns, it is good to use in your writing part because these are unique words and that these words comes as a formal language. I am not saying that these words are wrong to use. These words meaning for these words are same, but these words comes as a semi formal language and that should be used in your speaking part, not in your writing. So I'm converting these words in our writing as a formal language, right? So these all words: to enroll on a degree course, to major in physics, to attend a lecture. So these verbs, it is good to use as your writing part, right? Then the faculty of business, then undergraduate, graduate, then keeping up with a good load. So these words you may require to write in your essay writing. Make sure that try to avoid using such kind of basic words in your writing part to avoid semi-formal language. And so it is better to use throughout formal language using this kind of initial words that I have taken. Clear? Okay. All right, just have a look once again. I'm just giving you a few minutes so you can have a look on this vocabulary as well. Then we'll switch on a further slide. All right, clear? Okay. Let's have a look with the structure now. Those who have already attended my earlier sessions know very clearly that what type of structure that we need to follow in our writing. But still, again, just to recall it, let's have a basic idea that what type of structure we need to follow throughout. See, the word limit for essay writing is minimum 250 words, and that's what we need to complete in 40 minutes, right? So the structure for the essay, we must follow it very clearly to make our essay with complete coherence and cohesion, right? So minimum word count हमारे जो 250 है, so roughly we can make that our complete essay should be around 280 words roughly. I am not saying that there is no such upper limit for the words, but see, when we are writing lengthy essay, then chances are more to have more mistakes and chances are more to add irrelevant informations as well. So we need to structure our essay throughout with average word count of 280. All right. Though your first paragraph will be introduction paragraph. In introduction paragraph, you need to write roughly 2 sentences, no more than that. First statement sentence will be your topic sentence, and that's what we need to paraphrase it with the given statement. They will give you the statement. For example, the essay topic is that nowadays ultimately robotic technology is used more often than your original techniques, right? So this is your topic statement, and then they are asking you the question that write the advantages and disadvantages of robotic technology. This is your question, right? So what is your introduction sentence? What is your topic sentence? That Nowadays, we can see robotic technology is used everywhere. This is your statement. So now, as an introduction, first sentence, we need to paraphrase this given sentence in our language without adding any extra information. Clear, students? Let me repeat it again. In your introduction paragraph, your first sentence will be topic sentence, and then in topic sentence, you need to paraphrase the given topic statement. Now, what is paraphrasing? The paraphrasing is something that you are writing in your own language without adding any extra information and without changing the meaning of the statement. Right? So that is what you need to add as a topic sentence. Then second sentence for the introduction will be your thesis statement. A thesis statement is nothing but just an answer of the question given. As I just told you in this, I had given the example of robotic technology, and then in that example, I have given you the question that write the advantages or disadvantages of robotic technology. So you need to write your thesis statement by writing that what you are going to write in your essay. For example, if you are going to write only advantages of robotic technology, then you need to mention in your thesis statement very clearly that you are going to add and you are going to write, you are going to explain advantages of this of robotic technology in detail. That's what you need to mention in your thesis statement. That's it. I'm not telling you to add your ideas and add your views as a thesis statement. Just mention that what you are going to explain in your body paragraphs. That will be your introduction paragraph of 2 sentences. Clear, students? Then after we are switching on a paragraph 2, which is main body paragraph 1. In this body paragraph, we need to explain. We need to explain our stand. We need to explain, for example, depending upon the types of the essay. If we are writing the discuss both the views essay, then in first body paragraph, we need to discuss one view with its example and supporting details. If we are explaining a problem and solution essay, then in main body paragraph 1, we can discuss about the problems and its supporting details. If we are writing a thematic question-based essay, then we need to answer the question 1 in this main body paragraph 1 and its supporting details with example if required. Examples are not compulsory. Mark my words very clearly, students. Examples are not compulsory if it is not asked. Sometimes they ask you very clearly that give your opinion with examples. If it is not mentioned, then examples are not compulsory. But it is advisable to give a proper example to support your details. All right? To support your details, example plays very important role. Make sure that you are adding examples in your body paragraphs only, not in introduction and not in conclusion as well. Then between paragraphs, middle paragraphs, you can add examples if it is required and needed. All right. then what you have added in a body paragraph 1, another side you need to add as a body paragraph 2. That if you need to discuss both the views, then one view you are going to discuss as a body paragraph 1, and second view you are going to discuss as a body paragraph 2. If it is advantage disadvantage type essay, then you can just bifurcate merits and demerits with each paragraphs. If it is problem solution essay, then you can write the problem in one paragraph and solution in other paragraph as well. All right, so this is how you can bifurcate your ideas and views with the body paragraphs. And so it looks more systematic. Now, third body paragraph. Third body paragraph is not needed. If it is required, then only you can add third body paragraph. It is on you to decide that you are going to add third body paragraph or not. And then at the end, it will be a conclusion. Conclusion is nothing but just a summary of whole essay. Make sure you are not supposed to add any new idea in conclusion part. All right, clear? You are just need to write to just a summary of the sum up. Conclusion of your whole essay is the last paragraph. Now see, let's have a bifurcate with the word count 2. That your first paragraph, in first paragraph, the word count can be roughly 60 words. Sorry, it can be roughly, you can say that 50 words, roughly. In first introduction paragraph, it can be roughly of 50 words. Then if you are writing 2 body paragraphs, then it will be 90 words in each paragraphs. If you are writing in 2 body paragraphs, then 90 words in each body paragraph is enough. So introduction will be of 50 words, body paragraph 1 will be of 90 words, body paragraph 2 will be of 90 words. Then directly you will switch on conclusion. So conclusion again will be of only 50 words. Okay. All right. So if you are adding 3 body paragraphs, then only your word limit for the paragraphs roughly can be it can be roughly 60 words. If you are writing 3 body paragraphs, then 60 words in each paragraph is enough. If you are writing 2 body paragraphs, then 90 words in each body paragraph is enough. And introduction and conclusion will be of roughly 50 words. Okay, so this is how you can just bifurcate your word limits with this structure. All right. Now let's have a look with the model sample. Over here, there is one topic based on the education that you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Education is considered vital for the future of any society in today's world. Governments throughout the world should make education compulsory for all children between the ages of 5 to 15 years. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? So over here, this will be your topic statement and this will be your question. So based on this, we need to start our introduction. Make sure introduction is nothing but just a paraphrasing of this topic statement. We need to just write this topic statement in our own language. Now you can see that I have already make you learn the synonyms of education, right? So this way you can paraphrase it by using the synonyms and by changing the sentence formation, by changing the sentence structure. And then at the after that topic statement, you will add a thesis statement. In thesis statement, you need to mention it very clearly that what your stand is, that the answer of this question, that to what extent do you agree or disagree. So what does that mean? They are looking for that are you completely agree to the statement? That is one way of writing your essay. Another way of writing your essay is, are you completely disagree to the statement? Third way of writing this essay is partially agree or disagree. So it can be moderate answer, that somewhat I am agree to the statement and at some level I am disagree to that statement as well. So this is what you need to do the exercise before starting your writing. What you need to do is you need to write your stance. If you are writing on the agree, then write your stance, write your points if you are in the favor of the statement. If you are in the favor of the statements, then just before starting your writing of the essay, you need to plan it. That how many topics, how many views you can have in the favor of the statement. Then write the points on the disagreement, that against of the statement, how many ideas you can have. So you can have clear ideas on the both the sides, and then after you can decide that in which favor I should write to make my essay very clear with the examples and stand. So it is not compulsory then you are completely agreeing to the statement or disagreeing or a moderate. Before starting your writing, then you need to decide your stand, that in which favor you are going to explain this statement. And that's what you need to do before starting of your writing. All right, so always plan your essay before your writing. That for example, यहाँ पे आप लोग agree कर रहे हो, then how many ideas you can have in the favor of this statement. So then in that case, if you are having enough ideas with proper examples, then you do not need to go with the disagreement of the statement and you can just continue with your essay. If you are not able to get enough idea in the favor of the statement, and then try to get the ideas in the against of the statement, so that you can make out very clearly that which way you need to write your essay throughout. Best idea is that to write in an agreement in the favor of the essay, because it would be very easy for you to write the favor and the supporting details, right? But still it depends on you to decide that if you are able to write in a completely favor in the statement, then it is best idea. If you are not able to get the points and stand and the ideas in the favor, then you can just have the moderate or against as well. All right, so let's have a look with the today's model essay as well. Yes, education provides the opportunity to live a prosperous life by securing a good job or establishing a business. Some people argue that governments all over the world should make education compulsory for all children in the age from 5 to 15. In my opinion, it is a positive development because education is the best tool to get success. The first sentence, education provides from that to 5 to 15 age group. That was our paraphrasing of the topic statement. And then the last sentence, that in my opinion, it is a positive development, is your thesis statement. So you can see that this is your introduction. That is it. We are not supposed to add any new idea or a stand or a view in our introduction paragraph. All right. Then we can switch on a body paragraph. The first reason to support the view that education should be compulsory as its power to eradicate poverty from the society. Millions of illiterate people living in developing countries are deprived of their basic rights such as food and shelter. They are exploited at the workplace by their employers who pay them less for more work. Education will make them aware of their rights and enable them to earn more for their families. Even uneducated people living in developed countries are able to earn well and get respect because in those countries employers are required to pay at least the minimum hourly wages determined by the government. So this is not the case in poor countries where illiterate people get neither money nor respect. Needless to say, they need education to get out of poverty and exploitation. So now students, you can see that you can compare this body paragraph with my thesis statement that I have mentioned that in my opinion it is a positive development because education is the best tool to get success, right? So over here I have explained that what happens to educated people and what happens to uneducated people. So that's how you can compare it very clearly. Okay, then let's have a look with the second body paragraph. That another reason to support compulsory education is that it will reduce the crime rate in the society. Studies have shown that uneducated people are more likely to get into crime because they don't have a stable source of income. It is therefore clear that if the people are educated, the crime rates will be low. Over here, we can see that I have taken a second idea on the crime rate, which is literally connected to the literacy, right? So that is how educated people connect with the crime rate, that ultimately crime rates will be low if people are educated. So this is another reason to make education compulsory by the government. Okay, and then at the end we can have our conclusion. That in conclusion, I firmly believe that education plays a crucial role in improving the living standards of both the individuals and the society, and hence it should be made compulsory for all children. Simple. No any extra irrelevant information. To the point, exactly, just write your stand and mention it very clearly with the example. Clear? Here I would like to take one more example based on the education. Just have a look on this model essay, and then after within 1 minute around we'll take another essay as well. All right? That from introduction to body paragraphs 1, 2 and 3, and at the end conclusion. Okay, let's have a look with another model essay. That all education, it is quite similar, but there is minor difference with the statement, and so there will be minor difference in model essay as well. I have taken similar topic only, that all education should be free to all people and paid and managed by the government. The previous essay, it was that government should make education compulsory, and over here it is written that the statement says that the government should pay and manage for the education. So what is your opinion for this? That do you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reasons for your answer. All right. Let's have a look with the model essay now. The opinion that every citizen should have the right to study at school or university for free is very controversial one. Those who disagree refer to enormous expenditures of government in case of establishing such laws. Although I hold the viewpoint that not charging people for education could become very beneficial for a country and its economy. Here you can see that I have used a bit upgraded language rather than previous one. And yes, in my introduction topic statement, and then at the end, last sentence is my thesis statement, that although I hold the viewpoint that not charging people for education. So rather than making it free education, I have paraphrased the word by writing it not charging people for education. Clear? So these are lot many ways you can paraphrase the given statements and question statement, and you can write in your own language by using synonyms or by changing the sentence formation. Let's have a look with the body paragraph now. First, young people from poor families could be very smart. Looking back to history and biographies of distinguished people raised in poverty can illustrate this best. Making schooling available only for fortunate is not fair. Moreover, the state well-being could also be affected because there would be a lack of talented specialists whose skills was not discovered and developed by proper training. So over here, I have clearly focused with the young people and poor families. That sometimes that poor people are not getting proper education with the financial problems. And so to cover up that problem, government should provide free education. So that is my opinion over here, right? Then in second, that another advantage of making education free of charge is the happiness of the nation. An individual's inability to collect the amount of money he needs to pay school or university fee cause stress and anxiety in the middle class society, which can even keep them from having children. Nowadays, we can see that the lowest birth rate is in countries where prices of enrollment to highest education institutions are very high. This clearly indicates the fact that citizens of rich countries do not feel able to provide their future offspring proper education. All right, the second body paragraph is based on the school fees and number of children that family are having. So that makes them middle class family, middle class society, makes turns out with the stress and lot of anxiety. So it is very difficult for them to finance that high level educational institutes fees. So that's what I have covered as a second paragraph. Then I have added third paragraph. It is not compulsory to add a third body paragraph, but just to show you an example that over here I have sequencing, I have added the sequencing of the paragraphs. In the first body paragraph, I have added first. Then in second, I have added another advantage. And then third body paragraph, I have added a word cohesion linking device by using sequencing of finally. Finally, nothing seems to be more beneficial to a country's economy than an educated and intelligent nation. Free courses and study programs can prepare excellent specialists who would work to bring profit themselves and hence their country. That would surely compensate most expenses of state budget caused by education of no charge. All right, as clear as that. And then at the end, conclusion. To sum up, even though making all schools free can be very expensive for a state's economy, advantages are invaluable. After several years, such improvements would bring fruits of happy, intelligent nation confident about its future. Okay, so we have taken both type of model essays with quite similar topic. The first one essay is of overall 7.5 bands, and this essay was overall of 8 bands. These are the marking criteria: that task achievement is done, coherence and cohesion. For this last essay, you can clearly say that you can have 8 bands for coherence. Then lexical resources, again 8 bands, and grammar is throughout, you can have 8 bands. So overall for this last essay, you can say that you can have 8 bands overall. All right, and then earlier essay, you can have 7.5 bands. All right, so this is it for today's session. We have taken that lexical resources based on the education, Then useful languages, collocations, verbs and nouns based on the education. Then we have taken the structure of the essays, and then we have taken 2 model essays with different band scores. All right.